This is Adam Watson.
And Levon Baker.
You're listening to the Darkslinger Mafia podcast. So, at the moment, I am posting page number 1 from El Bovine Muerte issue number 5. It's taken a really, really long time, though. Because I got to update all the little boxes at the bottom on every single one of these pages. I need to get a website designer because I bet they can just write some code. That all that would need to happen is just a little line of code be dropped in once and then it'd appear everywhere.
Makes sense.
Instead, I'm using a stupid website builder and it's taking for fucking ever. But the good news is that within the next, hour or two, the first page from the new issue will be posted. And
yeah.
Gabriel has up to page 9, I believe.
Nice.
All completed. So there's not going to be any lag or anything like that. Everything's going to be good to go.
Sounds good.
Yep. So at the moment we have 9 weeks worth of updates for this. So
Damn.
I don't think it's going to be a problem to keep this going and,
Yeah.
not have any lag in between. And I think we might actually be able to get the little EBM Inspiratu short all done, so that it can run at the end of issue, at the end of issue number 5.
Nice. Sounds like a plan to me.
I have it pretty much written out in my head. I just need to actually get it written down, like really written down.
Right. And that takes some work.
It does, but not
mostly
too
time.
much. I've already worked out most of the dialogue and all that.
Yeah.
So that's what takes the most time, is just like figuring out. But I have the whole situation in my head. I have all that. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Sweet. I am excited. I am so ready to start doing this.
Yeah?
Yeah. My life has been very dull.
I hear you had a little bit of excitement last night, though. So I told you to save it for the podcast, and now we're doing the podcast. So tell me, what's this big thing that happened?
So I'm at work.
Okay.
And I work nights, for
Right.
people that don't know that. So I'm at work, and I've been there for maybe an hour and a half.
Okay.
And about 12:30, I get a phone call. And I don't normally get phone calls from my parents or my siblings while I'm at work because they know that I work graveyard. And I
Right.
get a text message that says, hey, something's up. But phone calls are
And
generally
who's the text
saved.
message from?
Huh?
Who's the text message from?
If it's my mom or my brother, they might send me a message.
No,
at
who'd
night.
you get one from last
this
night?
call?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this call, it's 12:30, and it's my little brother, Lucas.
Okay.
He's 14, and probably listening to this. So, he's already heard this story.
Hi, Lucas.
Hi, Lucas. You rock. Thanks for disturbing my work.
Go on.
But yeah, so, I answer the phone, and I'm inside the store, and he's freaking out. He's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You're not going to believe this. Holy crap.
And
Holy
just as
crap.
a little bit of a point of reference, he was with your son.
Yes, yes, my son was with him. So my first thought is something happened to my mom, something happened to my son. Why are you calling freaking out at 12:30 at night? And he's like, I need you to go somewhere where it's quiet so that you can hear me properly.
That doesn't sound good
Yeah,
either.
I was like, dude, calm down. I can't understand anything you're saying. Give me a second, I'll go outside. I go out, and there are customers out there.
Right.
I'm like, okay, what's going on? And he's like, okay, so I just want to tell you that the Super Smash Bros. Official YouTube channel had one post that was updated, and it's just one video, and it's like a 30-second clip of a song, but the title of the song was there, and holy shit, I think something just got leaked, and the Nintendo Direct for Super Smash Bros. Is at 7 a.m., so you need to come over. Not going to mention what exactly was leaked, but there was a song title that...
No, I want to know what was leaked.
Oh, yeah, you'll find out in a second.
Okay.
It was just a song title from a game
Okay.
that is a character that has not been in Super Smash Bros. Before.
Okay.
And with the way they've been doing everything with having every character from every game, there aren't a lot of new characters.
Right.
So he was all pumped up, and he freaked me out, got me excited. I had to keep my cool because I had customers all over.
Mm-hmm.
One of the customers starts debating with me on which game the character is specifically from, just based on the song name.
Okay.
So, this morning, I went over to my mom's at about 5:30. Lucas wakes me up at 7, and he's like, holy shit, it's starting! So I run in his room, and I'm falling over. And it starts with a really, really nice animated sequence of Luigi with his poltergeist,
Okay.
And he's walking through a dark castle. And you see a mummy pop out of the corner, scares him, he runs off. Some other weird monster pops up, freaks him out, and he runs off. All of a sudden, a Grim Reaper pops up and smashes Luigi in the face with a scythe, knocking his soul out of his body. His body flops over on the ground, and Luigi is dead. Like, flat out dead. They kind of already killed off Mario with one of the videos with Ridley.
Okay.
So now it's official that they have killed Mario and Luigi.
So what, are there fatalities in this Smash Bros?
No, it's just a way of, like, hyping it up and making it seem like it's this big serious deal.
Okay.
But they only do it with serious characters.
Right.
So
Link is probably next.
Yeah, probably. I would assume so. I mean, considering Mario got killed by Ridley by getting stabbed in the chest, Mega Man got cut in half by his tail.
Oh, Mega Man got cut in half?
Yeah, it's just their silhouettes. But
Okay.
you can see it impale Mario and slice Mega Man in half.
Okay.
They both fall off, and then Ridley picks up the hat and spins
Pretty
it around on
dark
his
for
finger.
Super Smash Bros. Franchise, though.
Right, so this is where it gets really dark. The Grim Reaper knocks Luigi's soul out and makes a little smirk, and then he gets hit in the face by a chain mace. And it zooms out,
Aw, shit.
and it's fucking Simon Belmont.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yes, and I was, like, shitting my pants excited because it looked so
I've
freaking
been wondering
awesome.
why the hell he wasn't in any of them.
Right? So he's full-on Castlevania 2 style, parted blonde hair with the headband,
Nice.
and it was fucking awesome.
So it's like 80s.
Yeah,
Simon Belmont, nice.
it is freaking amazing. Basically, the villains from the game will be in it in the level. Nice little side traps and crap. Dracula is a boss, but also an assist character, so that you can have him on your team.
Oh, okay.
Which is pretty cool. He's, like, freaking gigantic compared to all the other characters.
Well, yeah, he was shown as gigantic in quite a few of the games.
Yeah. So then at the end of the video, after Simon has killed the Death Grim Reaper, it panels back to Luigi's dead corpse with widened out eyes, and his spirit tries to get back in the body, and then, I can't remember the name, I want to say Claremont or something like that. It's the huge face with just the one bloody eye.
Okay.
Pops up from behind the castle and scares his ghost, and then you just hear him scream. So, I was just beyond pumped.
I didn't know they were going to do any more new characters.
I didn't either, and they kind of dropped it at that. There's Richter Belmont is also going to be in it.
Which one was Richter?
He's like a weird dweeby kid with like brown hair. I don't remember him.
Was he from the 64 version?
He might be.
Is he the one that turns into a werewolf?
He might, because I know the werewolf is an assist trophy.
Okay.
I don't really know how to describe him. He has like a blue outfit.
Blue outfit,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm kind of going to guess that they'll have an alternate skin for Simon where he has the brown hair that's all poofy and the fur coat and crap.
Right. I hope they do an alternate skin that is how he looked in Captain N in the Game Master.
Dude, that would be awesome. The blonde dweeby hair and like the what's like a biker jacket?
Something like that.
But yeah, so they have Alucard is also an assist trophy.
Nice.
And
I wish you could play as him.
Dude, yeah, that's what I was really hoping.
Did you ever play the Castlevania fighting game?
I did not.
So, I didn't even know about it until recently, but apparently there was... Okay, so Simon and Richter are both playable.
Yeah.
There was a fighting game released on the Wii that featured all of the characters from Castlevania.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think I did play that one.
Yeah?
It's just straight up the Wii characters, right? Where it's like all the different versions from the games.
I don't know.
Like
I never actually played it. I never played it.
I think
I
I
was
played
curious
it
if
briefly.
it was good or not.
I don't remember playing a whole lot of it. I thought I played it briefly, and it was like Soul Calibur, but...
Okay, I definitely recognize Richter now that I see him. And I think he's the one that's actually the star of the Netflix show, I think.
I thought that was
He's
Trevor.
the one that's... Oh, you're right, it is Trevor.
Yeah.
He's a descendant of Simon Belmont. You know, I almost think he might be the one from the Genesis, now that I see him.
That makes sense.
Okay, the character's history. Castlevania Rondo of Blood.
Never even heard of that.
I don't know that one.
That might be a Japanese only.
That might be, because I've never heard of that one. And it doesn't say what system it's for. Castlevania Symphony of Night. So he apparently betrayed his people and resurrected Dracula. Because if he brought him back now, then he could,
Yeah.
And then Alucard comes back and beats him. So Richter's who you play at the very beginning of Symphony of Night.
That makes sense.
Remember how that game actually starts, where you're battling Dracula as Richter, and then you become Alucard.
Right.
Nocturne of Recollection, Portrait of Ruin. So yeah, he's been in quite a few of them. Not very many of them that I've ever played, though.
Yeah, same.
Then Castlevania Puzzle Encore of the Night. I didn't know that there was a Castlevania Puzzle. That's not something that I knew.
That sounds awesome, though.
It kind of does, yeah. Yeah, so I definitely recognize him now that I see him.
Yeah.
And he carries a chain whip, too.
Right.
So his moveset's probably going to be fairly similar to Simon's.
Yeah, he's just, I guess they call him echo characters.
Uh-huh.
I had never heard of that term until today.
But like Lucas for Ness.
Right, yeah, they're just duplicates, basically.
Yeah, basically. Maybe minor changes.
Simon's attack moves are pretty cool, though, because he's got, like, a cross that he throws at people. He's got the whip, holy water that you can throw on people and they catch on fire.
Nice.
Which was pretty funny, because my brother was like, well, I guess that's canon that all Nintendo characters are evil, so... But, yeah, so that was really cool. And then they have a new Fire Emblem character in it that's just another echo character of Roy and Marth.
Okay. Roy and Marth aren't the same, though.
Okay, yeah, so I guess it would be more of a copy character of Roy.
Of Roy?
From what it looked like, it was more
Okay.
Roy's moves.
Okay. Ike and Roy are fairly similar.
Right.
But they have actually completely different moves, if you know how to play as them.
Yeah.
But if you're playing against them, they probably seem pretty similar.
Right. Well, and the cool part is they have a new feature that any of the duplicate characters, you can have them on their own little box on the screen when you're choosing characters.
Uh-huh.
Or you can combine them, so instead of having Peach and Daisy next to each other, you can combine it to make less characters on the screen, so it's one or the other, and the other one's just in the corner of the picture.
Oh, okay.
You can swap them back and forth.
Huh.
So, like, all the Fire Emblem duplicates can be swapped out through that.
Oh, okay.
The end of the trailer, they're like, oh, that's it, and then it has, like, a clip of Donkey Kong and Diddy in their house, and he's, like, laying on the ground scratching his butt, and they start hearing a thumping noise, and they look out the window, and there's a huge silhouette, and then it turns out that it's King Dedede. And so he's like, he has like a crown or something on his head, and he gets knocked over. And then King K. Rool pops up and like throws Dedede out of the jungle. So he's also a new playable character.
Did I ever tell you about what happened with the Malala Pawn Shop in Fire Emblem?
No.
They're not really a pawn shop, but you know the place I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so I really like those people, but sometimes they really don't know what's valuable and what's not.
Right.
You know, you wouldn't think a lot of times that like stuff like artwork and manuals would be worth as much as they are.
Right.
When you have this or that, but to people who actually do video game collecting, this shit's important, right?
Yeah.
You want to have a complete game. Look how much the artwork only goes for the set that had both Metroid and Wind Waker in it.
Right.
You know, and there's absolutely nothing different about the games.
Right.
But that piece of artwork is the whole thing that value is all about, right?
Uh-huh.
So anyway, years ago, I'm there, and I'm looking through their GameCube stuff, and I buy a game that didn't have the artwork, and I get it home and go to take the fake artwork out, and discover that it's not just a blank piece of paper. They actually took artwork out of a game that they had got the case for, but apparently didn't get the disc, and wrote all over the back of it with magic marker.
Oh, no.
And it was Fire Emblem for the GameCube.
Oh!
Right?
That sucks.
Painful. It was
That
very
is very
painful for me as a reseller to have to see that.
Yeah.
So painful. Now, on the plus side, I still did manage to sell it separately, but it had marker all over it, all over the back, so I didn't get as much as I would have had it not had that.
That sucks. I mean, at least you were still able to sell it, but that totally
Exactly.
blows.
Yeah. Yeah. it was rather horrible for me.
I can imagine. That hurts just hearing it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a little reseller moment right there for you. So I ended up not going to the show last weekend.
Right.
There was a little pop-up event that I was going to go to that was being thrown by Sasquatch, Comic Swap. But I woke up that morning and my neck hurt and everything just hurt, and I don't know if it was the heat or what, but I felt sick. So I decided not to go to that. So next show is still planned to be the Library Con in Hillsborough for Author Days, unless something else pops up.
Right.
But like I said before, I'm actually fine with taking a little bit more time away from cons, focusing on eBay sales, focusing on getting the Kickstarter all fulfilled, getting all this new stuff done with EBM, and I've got all these pages now for Little Lame Mime and the Mini Slingers. So
yeah,
I'm fine with just working on all that for the moment.
Makes sense. I mean, every now and then a break's good.
Yeah, it is. It is. And sometimes you have to take a break from a certain type of work in order to work on other things.
Right.
While shows are great, they do not help with writing. And I need to get, the writing done for Inspiratu. I need to get this and that done, so...
Yeah. Can't do that if you're running around doing other things.
No, not easily.
And then at that point, you're really just reselling because you don't have any new product to sell.
Exactly. Exactly. So what else you been doing comic-wise?
Ooh. Well, I got a new tablet that I'm using.
Okay. What'd you get?
I didn't buy it. My son's uncle's girlfriend is letting me borrow it. It's a Wacom Pro Intuos, or Intuos Pro.
Okay.
Just installed it last night. Haven't used it yet.
Okay.
But to have a new tablet that can hook up to my current laptop and not my old piece of junk brick was awesome. Just setting it up and connecting it and being able to move the mouse around without it jolting or anything.
Uh-huh.
That felt really nice. So I will start experimenting with that probably tonight for work or in the morning after work.
Uh-huh.
Lucas got a Wacom Intuos something else. I don't know what it was. It's the cheaper $80 tablet. It's a little smaller. And I did experiment with that last night for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I saw your Facebook post about that.
Had to draw me some Zorb. No, it's cool. The program's not bad that he's using.
Mm-hmm.
It was the free software that came with it.
Right.
I didn't like that you can't move the screen around a lot, so you can't scroll up and down. So everything I was doing, I had to zoom in and out. And at that point, when you're zooming out to draw the bottom half of a character, and you have to make it smaller and smaller to get that full size,
right,
that made it difficult.
I could see that.
But then again, it's just a new program that we were screwing around with for 5 minutes.
Right.
So I haven't figured that out yet. He's going to have me mess around with it a little bit, because if I end up liking it, I'm just going to give Megan her tablet back since I'm borrowing it.
Right.
And just invest $80 into a cheap tablet.
Yeah, don't forget I also have one in my office.
I don't know why I keep forgetting that.
Probably because it's in my office and I keep my office locked.
Well, and it's always on the drawer of the desk.
Yes.
So it's not like it's in an open spot where I see it when I'm going in there.
Yeah, it's not clearly visible, but you are more than welcome to use it whenever you want. I never use it.
Yeah, no, I'd like to experiment with that on Photoshop and Illustrator.
Okay.
So that's something I want to do, because I need to experiment with the 3 tablets.
It'd be cool,
see what I like
because
the
then
most.
if you get really good with it, we could actually put a screen up at cons.
Dude, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Can show you drawing so that people who are walking around can see you sitting there, and we can have it broadcast projector style.
Yeah.
So that it'll draw more people in.
I'm totally up for that. I mean, it seems like when I was drawing on my notebook at Restorama, that was attracting more people.
People always want to come over to see what somebody's drawing.
Yeah.
It's like a sure thing. And I do it. If I see somebody drawing, I'll peek to see what they're drawing.
Right.
Sometimes I really regret it, and sometimes, I don't. So and
Did
you
not
can't
want to
easily
see
regret
that.
it. Well, no, it's not even not wanting to see the art. It's as some people use that as a way to try and pitch you.
Right.
You're just what is that they're drawing? It's not that interesting. Hey, I see you looking at my art. Come over here. Come buy something, please. Please, nobody's bought anything for me all weekend. Please buy this.
Let me tell you about my 6-issue series.
It's called Tokyo Bop Pop.
And it's about a Japanese goat man who falls in love.
With a sailing boat.
Yes, but the sailing boat is gender fluid.
Huh? I'll pretend I understood that.
No, there was, my brother watches a show on YouTube called Drawfee.
Drawfee?
Drawfee.
Okay.
And, they basically just live stream them drawing stupid ideas.
Mm.
So they come up with an idea, and then they start it, and then by the end of the show, they've drawn this really bizarre concept.
Okay.
And I think it was Drawfee Live or something like that.
Okay.
And it was supposed to be a musical.
Okay.
They had their friend on a piano, who was a writer for music and stuff like that. So he wrote the songs as they were drawing.
Uh-huh.
So they would draw the scenes for the musical, the guy would play it. And the plot line was something about, like, a toxic waste stack. Like a smokestack that falls in love with some kind of car or a boat or something like that.
Okay.
And then at the end of the... Or, like, they're enemies, and at the end of the musical, they fall in love after destroying, like, Las Vegas or something like that.
Okay.
It was the stupidest thing ever. It was pretty funny, though. Because you could see that the humor they were using was basically everything that everyone's talking about right now.
Got it.
But yeah, it was interesting. But no, I like that kind of stuff. I like seeing people draw.
Yeah.
And I think that would draw me in if it was me on the opposite side of the table.
Uh-huh.
And I have done that before, where I've walked up and looked at people doing their artwork.
And sometimes you probably regret it, and sometimes you love it.
Sometimes I do, yeah. I think the only time I didn't really regret it was James O'Barr.
Uh-huh.
He was drawing Eric Draven, but he was so quiet, and you couldn't really talk to him. So I walked
he's a weird
up.
dude.
Yeah, I mean, he was super polite for like the 5 seconds we talked.
Well, yeah, weird doesn't mean that you're not polite.
Yeah. So I walked up, and he had no one at the table, and I was watching him draw a commission.
Uh-huh.
And then he just kind of looked up after about a minute of me standing there.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "You need something?" And I was like, "Oh, I was just wondering if you could sign my book." And he's like, "Right over there," and just points to the lady. And so I took my book over, handed her the $20, and then she took the book to him and then brought it back. That was kind of awkward, but
Right.
I understand his situation, so... But it was cool seeing him draw it.
Yeah. There's always, like, interesting requests you get at cons. A lot of times people just come up and they're like, I have this book that I'm getting all, like, Wolverine is an Ninja Turtle, or whatever, right? But, which actually, that one would be pretty interesting.
That would be.
And then you get, like, the really narcissistic girls that always want you to draw them.
Yeah.
But, some of the requests I've heard over the years are so strange. There was this guy who was going around with his notebook, and he came up, he's like, "No, are you an artist, blah, blah, blah." "Oh, no, but my artist's right there." And his whole book was, he wanted to have an artist draw a naked, fat, and he said fat. So he didn't say chunky, he didn't say anything like that. He used the word fat. Naked fat woman riding a name brand candy bar.
What the hell?
Yeah, they were free to do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
Past that, but one of my friends had this girl riding this Twix bar through outer space. I was like, okay, she took that idea and actually made it into something pretty unique. And then of course some of the people who are a little bit more perverted took more liberal use of the word riding.
Right.
But what he actually wanted was just them riding a name brand candy bar like it was a horse.
Oh my god.
And that was his thing.
I mean, this
he went around for 2
book.
years having different artists do this, and then just kind of stopped at that point and probably switched over to something else. But yeah, and considering some of the names he got in it, the book would probably be worth quite a bit of money to an art collector.
He swapped over to Volume 2, Bulimic Girls Throwing Up Candy Bars.
Well, that would be gross.
Yeah.
You never know, though. Bulimia is not something that's ever handled well in comics. So.
Yeah.
I think one of Rob Liefeld's male characters had bulimia.
Really?
I think Shaft in Youngblood.
Oh,
in the original run, I think he was supposed to be a bulimic.
Damn.
I think. It's been a long time since I've read any of those, but
yeah,
it seems like it. But Marvel Comics handled bulimia in a really horrid way in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you know who Dan Slott is?
I know him by name, but not by what he does.
Okay.
I've heard his name before.
He, I think he might actually be a record holder for being on Spider-Man for the, on Amazing Spider-Man for the longest length of time, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
He's a writer. He's a pretty good writer. I mean, a lot of people really hate him, but I don't know. I like some of the stuff he did. Like, years ago, he did this thing that was called the Spider-Verse that had, like, this big threat to every Spider-Man in the multiverse. So they're all coming together. So you see, like, Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Man Regular and the Doc Ock Freaky Friday Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Spider-Boy and Spider-Pig and, you know, Spider-Girl and whatever, Spider-Woman, this Spider-Woman, Spider-Man 2099. They all come together, right?
Kind of like they're doing for that new movie.
I didn't know they were doing that for a new movie.
Yeah, it's an animated movie.
It's probably based off that.
Probably.
So, anyway, you know, like, my friends were going on about how stupid that was, blah, blah, blah. But I really like multiverse stories.
Right.
So I picked up the omnibus of it at the library. Read through it. I thought it was quite enjoyable. So I will say, you know, the guy's writing's pretty solid. Back in the 90s, he started off doing, like, Ren and Stimpy comics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And kind of had to work his way up to doing non-humor type stuff. And one of the books that was kind of during this transition period is he did this book called Great Lakes Avengers.
Yeah.
And it was a comedic book that he tried to make serious, right? But one of the characters in it's named Big Bertha, and her power is basically the same as the Blob's. So she's this morbidly obese woman who's kind of indestructible.
Yeah.
But then you find out that her secret identity, and I don't know if Dan Slott created this or if it was already in existence for her, but her secret identity was that she was like this super thin supermodel. And how she transitioned between Big Bertha and the supermodel was she barfed up all of the weight.
What the hell?
Yeah, so like show her going to the bathroom, she'd barf up and then walk out the supermodel. And this is a guy who on Twitter like goes on and on about being a male feminist.
Yeah.
And all this shit, like, you know, he's one of the major like social justice type guys. So it's kind of funny because it's like, I don't think you could treat a serious issue like bulimia like that if you are legitimately interested in the things that you're pretending to be right now.
Yeah.
So I call total bullshit on everything about, like, his Twitter feed. But, you know, I could be wrong.
Yeah, no kidding. So it looks like the movie is called Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay, I would watch that.
It's animated. What I didn't like...
Oh, is this a 3D movie that they're coming out with?
Yeah, it's like CGI, but it looks like it's stop motion.
Okay.
It has Miles Morales in it.
Okay, so the Ultimate Spider-Man.
Spider-Gwen.
Okay. Yeah, so it's totally probably based off that story.
Yeah.
And what you didn't like about it was what?
Oh, okay, it does have Spider-Ham in it. It's John Mulaney.
Nice, I like Spider-Ham.
And Nicolas Cage is Spider-Man Noir. So, that'll be interesting. No, I thought it looks cool.
Why would Nicolas Cage be Spider-Man Noir?
That is a very good question.
That sounds horrible. I mean, like...
It sounds horribly awesome.
It sounds horribly awesome, yeah. But...
Yeah, so what
Nicolas Cage.
What I had issues with from the 2-minute trailer that I watched is it's CGI.
Okay.
But they want it to look like a comic book.
Okay.
Which is cool. But instead they have animation that comes across, at least in my opinion, as really bad stop motion.
Okay.
So, if you think stop motion like, you know, older 80s and 90s stop motion, it's obvious that, you know, their puppets and their mouths move a little funky and stuff.
Right.
This looks more along the lines of if Coraline or Paranorman was like 2 steps slower, so when they move, like, they kind of jolt really slow.
It's jerky.
Yeah, it's really jerky. And I mean, it looks cool. The animation style is cool. But it's something that I would have to get adjusted to.
You know, it's really weird with Spider-Man because he's had a lot of successful animated series. Yeah. But it seems like they cancel them even when they're successful. Right. And just like totally relaunch it with something new. Yeah. Did you ever watch the MTV one that had Doogie Howser?
Yeah, the weird CGI one.
It was cel-shaded.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they probably did that with CGI, but yeah, it was
Right.
like cel shaded. That was a really cool show, and it ended on this total cliffhanger. And then they're just like, Marvel, it wasn't even MTV from what I understand, it was Marvel was like, MTV's not the right network for this, so we're going to find a new network, and then they just never did. And then all of a sudden they did like a kid's Spider-Man cartoon again.
I felt like MTV was a good fit for that.
I thought it was
They
too.
could push it a little bit, make it a little edgy.
Yeah, but at the same time, still make it like something that you could watch with your kids.
Yeah,
and not, you know.
exactly. I mean, I was probably, I want to say 8 or 9 when that one came out.
It's probably right.
And I remember...
It came out right after the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire.
Yes, yeah. So I was about 8 or 9. I was in 3rd grade when Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man came out.
Jesus.
Yeah, we saw it in theaters, and my middle brother, Lauren, took his giant stuffed Charmander to the theater. We were supposed to go, I think, to OMSI or something like that. And my mom was nice and took me, Lauren, and our friend Levi to go see Spider-Man instead. And so Lauren takes this huge-ass Charmander into the theater, and the scene where Mary Jane pulls his mask off.
Yeah, the rain kiss scene.
Yeah. She starts slipping his mask off, and you just see him slowly lift the Charmander up. And then they start kissing, and he, like, covers his face with it. The purpose of the Charmander was to cover his eyes in case the Green Goblin scenes were too scary. He watched the entire movie without the Charmander except that kiss scene.
And how much
So-
younger is he than you?
He's 2 years younger than me.
Okay, so he's a first grader.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that animated series came out right about that same time. And I remember going to Things from Another World and buying one of the comics that was like an adaptation of it.
Uh-huh.
I think it was called like Facts of Life or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And it was just like a weird episode put into a comic, basically.
Yeah, most of the time when they do comic adaptations and stuff, it doesn't really work out that well.
Yeah, and it was like, it's cool, but you're literally taking screenshots from the show and throwing word bubbles on it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mix well when it's CGI with cartoon word bubbles.
Right.
But
Yeah, Tokyo Pop did all of those, where they just took screenshots off the TV shows
oh, the
and did word balloons.
Cinemangas?
Yeah, Cinemangas.
Yeah.
Those, you know, my kids seemed to enjoy them when I gave them to them, but they just seem so fucking awful to me.
I never could get into them.
Oh, yeah?
It just felt weird.
Yeah, they
Like-
seemed really weird to me.
I can understand reading like a children's what do you call them, like the Dell books or whatever,
Uh-huh.
where they're like the adaptation stories
Right.
of the movie, and they might have like an extra scene that they throw in or whatever. But reading a comic and just having screenshots from a show
Right.
seems boring to me, and it always has. Like, I'd rather just watch the show than read it.
Right, I would too.
Like, I'll save my comic reading for actual comics.
Yeah. Same here. So is there any comic news we need to discuss?
I can check.
Okay.
There wasn't last night when I was looking all that stuff up.
It seems like there's not a whole lot going on right now. I saw somebody's running a Kickstarter for something called ICC, which is supposed to be an independent comics magazine. I've seen a lot of magazines that try to put all their focus on independent comics come and go over the years. This one I kind of thought was weird because one of the images they're trying to sell the magazine with, so it's independent comics is what it claims, right?
Yeah.
But one of the images they're trying to sell it with is an image of a guy cosplaying as Black Panther from the movie.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, number one, cosplay has nothing to do with independent comics.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. If you want to put that as a feature in your magazine, there's nothing wrong with that, but don't call it an independent comics magazine if it dedicates a whole issue to cosplay, because you just made it into something completely different. And we actually should get these guys on the podcast for an interview.
That'd be cool. So,
But number two, if you're putting someone cosplaying as a Marvel character on the front cover of something, that definitely does not convey independent comics to me.
Right.
So anyway, go ahead.
The first thing for comic book news that pops up was 7 hours ago, Marvel revealed one of the X-Men is secretly not a mutant.
Why?
I have no idea. And it's...
Which X-Man?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
If
There's
it's
a lot of
Juggernaut, then
names
it's
in
not
here.
a secret.
I'm trying to get through all these different names because they're literally just reading a description of what's going on in the series.
Okay, which series is it?
Hunt for Wolverine.
Okay, so is it Wolverine that's not actually a mutant?
I don't know. It's talking about Tony Stark a lot, and I mean that's pretty damn obvious.
Was he made a mutant recently?
No,
I mean, they made Jubilee into a vampire. Maybe he's a mutant now. Maybe that thing that was keeping him alive in his chest, the arc reactor thing, made him into a mutant. So becoming a mutant works, right?
Okay, so they don't even tell you who it is.
Okay, so they're just saying that some mutant that you thought was a mutant isn't a mutant?
Yeah, it just says one of Marvel's Merry Mutants isn't actually a mutant. According to what Stark saw, someone on the X-Men had been genetically modified to appear as a mutant, but it's not.
Okay.
And then it just says, who do you think the X-Men sleeper agent is?
We've never fucking heard of.
Right.
Or it's going to be somebody that'll piss everybody off, like Beast or something like that.
Yeah. The next couple things that pop up are something about Guardians of the Galaxy's directing
James Gunn?
Yeah, he's going to do another
I don't know what's
Marvel
going on
movie.
with that, but I've seen that a bunch of stars have come out in support for him continuing to direct Guardians of the Galaxy. Apparently Marvel's trying to replace him or something.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 are some of the best movies they've released.
Yeah. I don't know, this is just saying that he might direct another Marvel
movie. And he
movie.
came from being like Lloyd Kaufman's assistant, right?
I believe so, yeah.
And before he directed Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm pretty sure he's like either Lloyd Kaufman's assistant or he was a Troma director of like, Where Chicken or whatever the fuck they're releasing currently.
Thanks killing rabid grannies. God, I could name them all. I like Troma movies.
One of my independent comic creator friend companies, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They license the rights to do like Where Chicken or some shit like that.
I
don't think the comic ever actually came out. But I was like, why, if you're gonna try and license something of theirs, why don't you make a Toxic Crusader? Like, why would you even attempt to do anything else of theirs that probably like 25 people saw?
Right. I don't know. I love Troma movies.
I love
There's
some of them.
There's some really bad ones, though.
There are so many that are so bad.
The worst Troma movie I ever watched was Sergeant Kabuki Man.
That I've actually seen.
Yeah? What did you think about that?
It was enjoyable because it was so fucking weird. Would it be something that I would have sought out to watch? No.
So we were watching one of the Toxic Avengers and they had a trailer for it.
Okay.
And I was like, Troma has their YouTube channel that literally has every one of their movies for free.
Okay.
You can download them or whatever. All they care is that you're viewing them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
So they put every one of their Troma movies up.
Mm-hmm.
As a way of saying you can watch it for free. If you like it, buy the DVD off
Trent
our store.
Reznor does similar stuff like that with 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty cool.
I think so too.
Except I feel bad because
Not
a lot
that
of those I
but...
wouldn't buy. So
right.
We downloaded Sergeant Kabuki Man that day, and it was me and my coworker Steven, and it was like maybe 10 in the morning, and we were just like, oh.
But you guys worked the night shift.
Yeah, we were like, we're off. Let's go get Subway, and we'll come back and watch this really bad movie. And I think we got through about 20 to 30 minutes of it and had to break out the hard alcohol. We were like, we're just not drunk enough for this. We ended up drinking quite a bit that morning. And I think by the hour and a half mark, because I think it's like about 2 hours long.
Right.
We were so freaking confused and bored, but we didn't want to turn it off because we had to see the ending at that point. And then we saw the ending and we were like, what the hell kind of buildup was that? And so it became a joke that, like, if a movie is bad, there's, like, a scale, there's great, good, bad, and Sergeant Kabuki Man bad. So,
I don't remember a single thing about the movie.
It was so terrible. As far as comic book news on, like, Google, there isn't crap.
Okay.
Comic book resources.
I guess we're going to be having to make some here pretty soon.
Yeah. I think so, because I don't want to keep seeing crap like Marvel may bump the Avengers 4 release date.
Yeah, I still haven't seen number 3 yet. Not because I don't want to, I just haven't had a chance to.
Right. I don't want to read about how Terry Crews explains how Bedlam could return for Deadpool 3.
No, especially since, isn't Deadpool 3 the X-Force movie?
I believe so, yeah.
I don't know. I like the way Bedlam died. I guess it's not a spoiler since, we just read that.
Oh, here's something interesting. Ben Schwartz is going to be the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog in the live-action movie.
Who's Ben Schwartz?
Yeah,
Also,
I don't
Sonic
really
the
recognize
Hedgehog
him.
Live-action movie, that's just weird.
Yeah, it's like a decade
I'm
too
thinking
late.
Like Mario Bros,
I don't know. It
like,
sounds
didn't that
bad.
movie damn near end the career of Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to be the last nail in Sonic's coffin, sadly.
Who is it that played as Koopa? Was it Dennis Hopper?
It was Dennis Hopper.
Oh my god. And you don't hear anything about him anymore.
Right.
John Leguizamo had to go on to play serious roles.
Dude, but
like
I
Love
loved
in
him
the Time of
in that
Clara and Our Cholera and the past. Did the past come before or after that?
You got freaking...
Which is hardly a more serious role, but...
You got Mario from the Bronx.
It was in Moulin Rouge, and I'm finally uploading the website.
Nice!
So EBM is going live right now.
You got Mario from the Bronx and Luigi from the Projects.
They didn't even look like they could have been brothers.
Yeah, not even the slightest bit.
No, not even remotely.
Okay, so Ben Schwartz.
Luckily, though, Bob Hoskins did go on to do Unleashed, which is one of the greatest movies of all times.
Yeah. He's from Mystery Team.
Don't know it.
I really don't recognize a lot of these movies. Star Wars: The Force
Wait,
Awakens.
maybe Mystery Team is the one I was telling you about the other day. What's the cover look like?
It's got like a little...
Yeah,
okay.
that is the movie I was talking about.
So
that movie is funny as fuck because it's about these 3 guys who are about to graduate their senior year of high school. And they've been in this mystery-solving team since they were little tiny kids, right? And the main one in the group doesn't get that they're growing up and getting older. So the other 2 are just kind of going along with it. And, like, the one kid is really dumb. He's, like, the toughest kid in the neighborhood. And they still use him to beat up, like, 12-year-olds. And what you think, judging by the cover, is not what you get. Because they end up, like, at a strip club.
Oh, my God.
All kinds of stuff. That movie's fantastic. I highly recommend it.
So it looks like he...
Who was he in Mystery Team?
In Mystery Team, he was... Let me pull that back up. Dougie's buddy.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't even have a clue.
He was the voice
Which
of
one was?
BB-8 from The Force Awakens.
You never watched Star Wars?
I think he's just a little robot guy. He was on Parks and Recreation.
Wait, is BB-8 the thing that they made the remote control thing out of?
Yeah, that little weird ball-looking R2-D2 thing.
Somebody needed a voice for that?
I don't know. I never saw it.
I would have just
wonder
thought
if
that
he
would
made,
have just been like
actual
computer
voices or what.
synthesized or something.
Yeah.
Weird.
He's
Haven't watched enough of Parks and Rec to know.
Okay, he's on BoJack Horseman.
Oh, okay, there's something I know.
Rutabaga Rabbitowitz was the character that he played.
I think I know who you're talking about, even though you're saying it really weird.
Yeah, I have no idea how to pronounce it. He's Dewey on the new DuckTales, and he's Leonardo on the new Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Which one?
The new one that hasn't came out yet.
The one that hasn't came out yet. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's like a rising star voice actor type guy. Got it.
The only reason I could see this movie being in any way good, they just blow it out of the park.
Right.
That's one thing. It's like 2 decades too old.
Right.
Like, this should have happened in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
But Dr. Eggman has, like, the greatest fucking actor ever, and it's Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey's playing...
Jim Carrey is going to be Dr. Eggman.
I will hold off all opinions about this until it comes out.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking, like...
I'll see it if Jim Carrey's playing Eggman.
it could be really good, or it could just be totally bad, and his character could still be cool.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be a fun movie to take.
I don't know. I don't know if there's ever been a single Jim Carrey movie that I'd enjoy to some degree, with the exception of Ace Ventura 2.
Yeah.
I hate Ace Ventura 2.
Yeah, that movie was just like, it was a disappointment compared to the first one.
So bad. So bad, but the first one's so great.
I think we only ever watched Ace Ventura 2 maybe like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. My parents bought
up.
it for me for Christmas on VHS.
Yeah.
When it first came out. Because I loved the first one so much. My brothers and I used to watch it like every weekend. Then we watched that, and it had an effect to where we didn't watch the first one again for like 4 years.
Oh my god.
So like ended the craze of watching the first one because
I don't
it was
even want to watch this anymore.
Right? There are some movies that the sequels are so damn bad that it makes you not like the first one as much.
Yeah.
Like, did you watch the whole 10 Yards?
It seems like I've seen it before and I cannot
So
remember,
the whole
honestly.
9 Yards is a great movie. It's
Right.
funny, it's got a proper amount of action, this and that.
Yeah, I know I've seen 9 Yards.
The whole 10 Yards came out and it was so fucking horrid.
Oh god.
So bad that it made me not even want to watch the first one anymore.
Oh, dude, that's the worst.
It is.
You get so into a movie and then you see the sequel and you're like, God, I don't
But
ever
it's
want to touch
proof
that
positive that like something being made off something old can ruin the old thing.
again. Right.
So, if you're listening out there, Cartoon Network, please, please, please burn everything. Not just shelve it, burn it. Related to Thundercats Roar. Burn that shit.
Say
Burn it.
goodbye to Man Bun. I think we need a protest.
We need a protest. Fuck
Yeah.
you, Man Bun. Stay away from Thundercats.
We need to all show up at the Cartoon Network headquarters and have shaved heads and say no to the Man Bun.
We could, like, do the samurai thing.
Dude, there you
Ceremoniously put him on his knees, cut his man bun off, take away all his honor.
Shave him like Aslan from the Chronicles of Narnia. Oh my god.
Aslan is an allegory for Jesus.
Right. Yeah, no, I
always was curious about that, though. Like, why did he pick shaving? Because they didn't shave Jesus in any part.
They cut Samson's hair,
Yes.
but not Jesus.
Not that I can recall. Put a crown of thorns on his head, did this and that. I mean, they did a lot of mean shit. They might have cut his beard off, but they didn't write about cutting his beard off in any version I've ever read.
Same, and...
But I guess it's just
like,
because it's an allegory, not like a direct...
Yeah, it's like, hey, he's the king, and we shave off his mane and make him look like a little pussy.
Yeah,
I
and
guess.
he was, like, massively, massively Christian.
Yeah.
Most of the books he wrote were actually Christian books.
Well, see, and that threw me off when we were growing up, because we had a family of friends that were the furthest thing from Christians.
Uh-huh.
And my mom had the audiobooks for the Chronicles of Narnia.
Uh-huh.
We would listen to him in the car all the time, and one time we went over to my friend's, and the sister was reading the full book that her dad bought for her, and he was like this like super anti-religion guy. And I was like, that's weird, because that's a Christian book. And they're like, what?
Well, unless it's pointed out, you don't notice it.
Right.
And then,
exactly. It's still enjoyable.
I don't think I noticed it until I was at a Christian bookstore with my mother-in-law and saw all of his stuff shelved there.
Right.
And I was like, the hell? So...
I think that's about
of course,
when I learned
you don't
that.
want to say what the hell when you're at a Christian bookstore with,
Right. You might get some weird looks.
Right. Which I got weird looks being in there anyway.
True.
But anyway, I think that's about it for this week's Darkslinger Mafia podcast. I'm Adam Watson.
And Levon Baker.
Thank you for listening.
No more man buns.